No, we do not actually have faces.
Wednesday night. What?
These are not actual faces.
I
We
have a
stole
face.
these.
I keep it in the closet.
Oh, you should let it out. Do, 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 do.
Anyway,
All right. Well, hey, here we are.
yeah, we
Hi,
are.
how's the internet been? That bad, huh? Awesome. Sorry to hear that.
Are you, though?
Good to
I mean,
know
in general.
that everything's fixed. Global pandemic over. Politics fine. Twitter okay. I'm gonna say Reddit is nice. I,
I'm sure it has some nice parts. I've seen them.
oh yeah, it definitely has some nice parts.
Like some depressingly gentrified Reddit over there, though.
R
The
slash
parts where they only
millennial.
let good people in, but their definition of good people,
Mm.
gentrified Reddit. My favorite thing that Reddit's done lately, though, was make people care about GameStop, and that was a miracle because I didn't think you could. See, I can make references to 3 months ago now, and it's still new as far as this is concerned.
That's true. That's true.
Wow.
I
So-
I almost convinced the wife to buy some Dogecoin just before Dogecoin shot up to checks numbers like 20 cents, but we didn't, and that's a good story.
Has she let you live it down?
No, she still doesn't care, and I'm fine
That's
with
probably
that.
wise.
So.
That's probably the best choice.
I'm Chewy.
It's
Sure
Chewie.
is.
Hi, Chewie.
So, hi everybody! Look, it's us!
Hey,
Yeah, look at that.
you may remember us from other times on the internet. Then
We
again,
have,
you might not, and if that's the case, you lucky bastard.
After playing Tuesday night Overwatch, which Bill and I do whenever there's an event,
Which is depressingly often lately.
yeah, right. But after doing that last week, we ended up staying on the call after everyone else left and just ranting and raving about things for like way too long.
We kind of did an odds and ends without meaning to.
Yeah. And
That's odd.
we were like, oh, well, that was actually kind of refreshing. And we both said, I bet Cluze needs this.
I kind of do. Hey, the
So-
most important thing I need, actually, speaking of you and streaming, the most important thing I need is an after action report on Pizza Titan Ultra because you finally played that game.
Yes,
That
I
was
did.
many years in the making.
Yes.
Like so
for
many.
those, for
years
those who
in the
don't
making.
know, let me set the stage. Years ago, in the before times, I think it was like 2018 or something.
That was like
I-
8 years ago.
It was at least 12 years ago. I was at a PAX and I
14
happened to
years
be in like kind of the more indie area of PAX. So not like the giant booths, but the like tiny booths that are like a quarter of the size of a regular booth. And there were these dudes who were demoing a game called Pizza Titan Ultra. And I thought, well, that's a crazy name. Let's check this out. And it was a game that was coming out where you drove a giant, like 10-story tall mecha robot that had a pizza restaurant in its chest, and you delivered pizzas in a giant mech. And I thought, this game is fantastic. It looks hilarious. I have a buddy who does streaming. This would be the perfect kind of thing for him to play because it's definitely his kind of nonsense. And I started chatting with the guy who was running the booth. And I told him about my buddy who streams on the internet and that he'd really love this. And the guy goes, oh, here, let me give you a code. And so the guy goes behind the table and he gets out a little card that's got a little Steam code on it. And he's like, here, give this to your buddy so that he can play the game. It's free. Just go ahead. And I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. I will give this to my buddy. I am sure he will play this game in a timely fashion. It'll be awesome.
That
And
was
I
a
came
mistake.
home and I emailed Chewie immediately and I said, hey, I got a present for you. Here's this code for this game. I think you'll love it. 15 years later,
Oh,
just a couple of days ago,
17 years later.
17 years later,
Do I hear 18?
in April of 2021, Chewie finally got around to playing this game that for years I have told him you should play this. You don't even have to pay for it. Just play it. And he finally played it. And so I ask you, Chewie, how was Pizza Titan Ultra?
In my defense, I installed the game immediately.
And
it stayed installed this whole time. I install and uninstall games, and I'm like, you know what, I want to play this, and I'll install it, and then a few months later, I'll go, I don't actually want to play this, and I'll uninstall it. Pizza Titan Ultra never got uninstalled, not once. It stayed installed on Steam the whole time, which means it was always on the list of things to play.
Right.
I also have, I'm getting better about it now. I had this problem when it came to streaming games of games that I want to stream. I also need to keep like YouTube content in mind, and starting a new game was like a big deal in my head. And I have this like big long list. Okay, these are the games that I want to play and make content out of and all that. And Pizza Titan Ultra was never high enough on that list.
Sure, yeah.
To like for me to actually play it. But recently, I'm trying to get better about let's just fucking play something, and it's and that's been good for me mentally, and that's why I finally decided to play Pizza Titan Ultra. That and Cluze. I got the feeling that I had actually hurt Cluze's feelings by not playing it for so long.
Well, it only was 175 years ago. So.
It's true.
So I did
Like
play it.
When Cluze could have sold that free voucher for like $1, and now he'd be rich.
Yeah, he could have spent that $1 on GameStop stock back then.
I could, and then I would be rich. I could have spent it on Dogecoin back in the day, back 200 years ago in 2018. Had I spent it on Dogecoin, I would now be a tennionaire? Is that what it means when you have $10? I'm not really sure.
A dozionaire?
But
A dozenaire.
Look, I'm just saying, all this time, and I was hurt because I mean, really, I thought it would be a good fit for you, and I thought here is this nice thing that I'm doing for this friend of mine who needs games for content for his streaming career, and I gave it to you, and then you just ignored the crap out of it for 348 years. So,
Chewie, I've got to ask you
how
this.
was it?
Yeah. In manners that I will understand, was it the Snow Crash meets Megas XLR of my dreams?
I don't get that second reference.
Well, we're going to have to show you something later when you're older.
Okay. Also, these green lines that are popping up around you guys are killing me. Hang on, let me maximize this.
I mean,
Whoop!
I'm making mine on purpose. I don't know about Cluze.
Yeah, I'm totally making mine on purpose
All right,
as well.
still there. They're still there.
Yeah, still here. Look at that. Woo, woo, woo.
Damn it.
I make it happen with my mouth.
But phrasing? Are we still doing phrasing?
Why,
we're
possibly.
still doing phrasing.
Okay, there we go. Got rid of that one. Yeah.
Should I talk so that you can see the green lines around me?
No, because when I highlight it in OBS,
I get larger.
The highlight is a green line, and so it blocks it out.
Ha ha!
Okay, but
Comedy.
now they're both gone. Anyway, so to answer this long-standing question, it was way goofier and more entertaining. Well, no, not more. I expected it to be entertaining, but it was way goofier and more off the wall than I was expecting. And the references, oh my god, the references. Like, there were references to Captain N and Bob Ross and Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
What's
and
that?
Captain Planet.
Is that like Kaijudo?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
So after I got home and I gave the code to Chewie, because I wasn't going to bogart that code that I had gotten for Chewie, I went ahead and bought the game myself with my own cash monies. And I played through the entire game. And the entire time I was playing it, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for Chewie to play this because it's going to be great. He's going to love this. All these references are like right up his alley. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's semi-clever. I think he'll love it. It'll be perfect.
Yeah.
And then years went by.
He was right. 874 years later, I finally played it.
I continued to be an old man. I was going to say I became an old man, but no, I continued to be an old man.
Yeah, I can't believe you gave that game to him when this country was young.
I know. I know. Not even knowing that computers had not been invented yet, I gave you that game code. So did you actually finish it? It's not a super long game.
No, I didn't. I didn't even
Okay.
get close to finishing
All
it.
right.
No, there's a billion
Did
other
you,
locations open. Or
did
it's
you
open.
record it? Are
I
you gonna post that someday?
no, probably not. Because the actual like gameplay of the game is like fine. Like it's entertaining to play, but not to watch, really.
I'm not sure that I agree with that. I mean,
Because you're literally just a giant robot running around, avoiding enemies or smashing enemy things that are all very tiny, and then
delivering pizzas with your fists.
and delivering pizzas by slamming your fist into the side of one specific high-rise building type.
That's
That
right.
is pretty much how I remember it working in Chicago. So I have to assume that this is just a documentary.
Pretty
Oh,
much,
yeah.
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 But like it's novel for a little while, but even just playing it, it's not meant to be played for long periods of time, I don't think. Like in a single go.
Yeah, I'm with Timbal on this one. This sounds like Rampage, but with pizza.
I mean,
Which makes it better.
sort of, yeah. I think I only made it to like the third area. I don't want to say level because that's not right.
Yeah, it's not quite right.
But there were like, what,
The third slice.
4 or 5 or 6 left, and I was like, I'm not getting through this tonight.
Well, in let's see, what are we up to? 522 years do finish the game. Because it does there's some great stuff with the ending, and there's lots more references packed in there. So
Nice.
Fun.
Yeah.
and for those of you who might be interested in a game, Pizza Titan Ultra, this is real breaking. I'm glad we're right on the cutting edge of, hype for this game coming out by an indie developer. Go
It's true.
rush right out there and buy it.
It
I have no idea how
it
much
is
it costs for
on
stuff these days.
it is on Humble. So here, if anybody wants a link, there you go. That's how you can get it using our the Manapools code. It is way too much fun, like I said, in small bursts. I think trying to stream it for like 3 hours wasn't a good idea, but like for me personally.
And the music is catchy too.
The music is catchy as hell.
Yep.
And there are like references within references. Like when you're delivering pizza and there was someone named Enzo and my ears pricked up. I went, Is that a Snow Crash reference? And then later he was referred to as Uncle Enzo, and I was like, what?
That is absolutely a Snow Crash reference.
And it is $12 on Steam right now, and $12 on the Switch if you want to buy it. That's where I played it, was on the Switch. It was kind of the perfect on-the-go game. You could sit down, play it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then do another level later.
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, so hey, Cluze, thanks for that game. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, yeah, sure thing. I'm glad I did that, and I will definitely go out of my way to get you more codes for more games that you can.
I mean,
Never
admittedly,
play.
you know how long it took for him to watch The Last Dragon.
That is true.
Yeah, and I mailed that crap directly to his house.
It's not about accessibility here.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know why I try.
Although once I did watch The Last Dragon, I loved it desperately. So
I wasn't wrong there either.
no, you rarely are. It turns out.
See?
Show enough.
I feel like I
Sure
should go
enough.
change into my shirt that says "Boy, do I hate being right" all the time.
Oh boy.
How you
Yeah.
doing, chat? What video games have you been playing?
What was that? 10th Tech? That's a name I've not heard. And what's
In
the
a
next
long
media?
time.
What's the next media Clues will give Chewie to enjoy 4 years later?
Oh hell, I don't know.
Huh.
I'll come up with something though.
And that was 10th X subbing for 32 months. And then someone just bought, I'm guessing, Pizza Titan Ultra because a humble store purchase was made for exactly
nice.
that cost. So
Excellent.
hey,
yeah.
thanks.
Hey, I got a crazy question for the chat. Are you ready for this?
Oh God.
I apologize, but it's I just thought of something, and here it is. This is something to do. Chat. Does anyone out there need DVD copies of the original Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I already have two.
Because I have it on DVD, but I also have it on Blu-ray, and I see no reason to keep both. So I'm keeping the Blu-ray. I will send the DVDs to you. Just let me know.
I appreciate that people think, oh, you'd like this, and buy me copies of Avatar: The Last Airbender box sets.
Yeah, that's the problem. I suspect most of the chat either falls into the 10th tech priest of I no longer have a DVD player, or what I'm going to guess is the Pinball Witch, I already own it, so I don't need yours.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, I do appreciate that when people are like, I think you would enjoy this. And I'm like, you're right. Looks back to when I bought the DVDs as they came out and
Yeah.
all of the other incarnations of this show that I own.
Yeah, I love it, but I have no need to own DVDs of it, so
Fair.
My collecting of physical media has definitely slowed down a lot in recent years.
Yeah, see, I don't trust any of the damn streaming services to actually keep the things that I love.
Correct.
So
Oh, I
I'm
don't
going
either.
to
I just
continue
don't.
to buy the physical media of things that I truly enjoy. So
I think my thing is that once a year on Black Friday, when I see a box set of something for $8, I'm like, now is the time. At all other times, I'm like, it'll be there later.
I only collect VHS.
Oh.
Gloppy Rocks, that is terrifying.
I dug through my parents' attic a few months ago and found the old VCR, and I'm like, I'm gonna use this because I have 3 VHS tapes and I have no idea what's on them, but I'm
Nice.
pretty sure they're things that I recorded at various points off of television, and I don't know what's on them. These
Thank
could be
you.
like when I was in college recording stuff when I was away because I have movie channels. These could be random episodes of Digimon that aired before I got home from high school. I have no idea what's on them. I don't
Thank
want to
you,
pay money to find it.
Pinball Witch, for the correct answer. It's not VHS. It's not Laserdisc. You should be collecting it on Betamax, like a not crazy person.
I have some
Totally not crazy person.
Digibeta tapes back there. They're tiny.
Wow. So hey, guess what I did today?
Dashed.
Yes, but other than that,
Got in the
ooh.
way of Cluze getting Chipotle.
There was a bunch of
that wasn't
wind.
me. There's a bunch of what?
Wind.
There was. That was.
See?
It was not the blowjob I ordered, but it's what I got. There we go. That's all I wanted was to see Cluze.
Oh, I didn't expect that. Okay.
I didn't either. That's not the one I ordered. No, YouTube paid me today.
What?
Yeah, for like,
You got that Google money?
yeah, for the first time this year, and probably the first of 2 times this year, unless something takes off. So yeah, I went to buy shoes. So
Nice.
I bought shoes.
Like 2 of them?
Like I don't remember how long ago, but I got 2 pair of shoes. I got a black pair
4 of them.
and a brown pair. And yeah, I then wore them until the black pair was not wearable anymore, and then I switched to the brown pair. And the brown pair, I just well, they've developed a permanent squishing sound in the right shoe. It used to happen
developed.
just when it rained. For a few days afterwards, I would squish, but now it just squishes all the time. And it's to be perfectly honest, it's fucking embarrassing. So I
I'm gonna ask
don't
the dumb question.
do what?
Have you considered tossing them in the dryer?
Yes, did not help at all.
Have you considered throwing them at your enemies?
None of them are close enough, but I have considered it. Yes.
Have you considered putting them in the oven?
No. Because that sounds dangerous on multiple levels.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't think it was a good idea.
It's
I
just
just
he's just wondering if you're
considered it.
considering it. Yeah. Like, my next suggestion was going to be, well, I mean, there's probably no metal in them. You might be able to just microwave the things.
Have you considered hot glue?
On what?
Just craft your own shoes out of hot glue.
Okay, so back to the story. I went to once the parents got their and I both all got fully vaccinated. After 2 weeks, I went to see them, and like hung out. I gave them hugs. We didn't wear masks for the first time all year, like in literally a year.
For context, they're all vaccinated before anyone freaks out.
Yeah, that's why I let off with that. After we'd been fully vaccinated and 2 weeks had passed.
Yeah.
So we were hanging out, and my shoes kept. And the old man was like, "What?"
Wait, they did what now?
Sorry, no, I'm not doing it again.
Damn it.
Actually, I'm sorry. No, the old man never heard it because he's, mostly deaf. But Mom was like, "What is going on with that shoe?" Now I always take my shoes off, like when I go into the parents' house. But even just like first I got hugs and then I stole a cookie because that's what I do. I steal one of the old man's cookies and he goes, "Stay out of my damn cookies!" And I have a mouthful of cookie and I go, "What cookie?" Because it's just a thing we've been doing for years ever since I moved out. And Mom was like, "Oh Lord, your shoes are in sorry shape." And I went, "No, they're fine." And I picked up my foot and looked at the bottom, and they were not fine. And I went, "Wow, there's like no tread in this one spot." So I picked up the other shoe and looked at the bottom and went, "Huh?" Because there's like a big like, not the one that squishes the other one. There's like a big hole, not hole, but like a gash in the sole. And I was like, "This is probably bad." And they're like, "You need to buy some shoes." And I'm like, "I can't really afford to buy some shoes because I don't know if y'all know this or not. Shoes are expensive." And I was like, I can't really afford to buy shoes right now. It's gonna have to wait a few paychecks. And the old man went, "I know." And he went back to his to his bedroom and he came back with shoes. And he goes, "Here, these have only been worn maybe twice. And I've had them forever. They're just in the back. But look at them. See, they're all new and stuff." I said, "Yeah, they are." I put them on. I was like, "These are okay. Thanks. They'll hold me over till I can afford to buy me some shoes." And I went home. And then I choked. So I went back the next week.
Cursed shoes.
And I was sitting there on the couch and the old man went, "How the shoes working?" And I said, "They're fine." And I had one foot up on my knee, and I flexed my toes and I saw that the sole was separating from the bottom of the shoe. And I went, "Well, I thought they were." And I went over and was like, "Look at this." And he said, "Oh shit. Sorry about that. I would not have given you shoes if I'd known they were falling apart. Hang on a minute." And he walks off and comes back. He goes, "Now I got these boots. There were some like Timberlands." And he goes, "Look, these I've literally worn once." And the tread, there's like no wear on the tread whatsoever. I was like, "These are actually brand new." Cool. So I put those on. And then they're fine. I said, "Thanks." And I went home. And then I went back again. Because I've been to see the parents like 4 times in like 2 weeks. Because one, we were excited that I could do it, and then it was Easter, and then Mom was leaving. It's just, I have to go over there a lot these days, it seems. But after a year of not seeing them at all, it's awesome. And he goes, "Well, how are the boots working?" And I went, "These are fine. They're more comfy than the damn other shoes." And I flexed my toes again, and the sole was separating from the shoe. And I went, "You're not going to believe this." And he goes, "Are you shitting me?" And he's like, "Hang on a minute." And he grabs some super glue and fill the thing and hold them together. And then we're sitting there just shooting the shit, holding the shoes, each of us squeezing a shoe together, And after a while, we go to open it up and just pops right open. And he goes, "Shit!" And I was like, "It's fine. These aren't as bad as the others, and they're more comfy. I'll just wear them until I can afford new shoes," which was today because YouTube sent me surprise money. So yeah, I finally went to buy some shoes, and that's my story. But apparently, the old man's shoes, 2 pair of them, dry rotted, even though they were never worn. It's very strange. And then one of
Well,
those times he got me to help him order 2 pairs of shoes online because whatever type of shoe was having a sale, and he was like, oh, I like these. So we figured out what he wanted and the size and all that, and he ordered them. And then when I went to visit the last time, he had both of those pairs of shoes, and he was wearing a third pair that he'd had for a while and hadn't worn yet. And I'm going, so hold on. You ordered 2 new pairs of shoes. He said, yeah. I was like, so you could wear a third older pair. And he went, well, when you put it that way, it sounds really dumb. I was like, doesn't it? Which got me a, fuck you, they're mine. I was like, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The old
This is
man
also
is...
explaining why he has all these pairs of shoes that he's worn once.
Yeah, and I was like, this makes perfect sense to me now. So yeah, but now I bought me some New Balance shoes because I am old, and yeah, they're very comfy, and I wore them while I dashed today, and yeah, I can dig it.
Excellent.
I haven't had new shoes in a very long time, and no, my feet aren't cursed. See, growing up, I hated buying shoes because okay, so in middle school, in the summer between 5th and 6th grade, and then the beginning of 6th grade, I had surgery on each foot. They installed an arch.
was it to remove the curse?
No, it might have been to install the curse along with the arch. But yeah, I had my feet just hurt all the time. And Mom took me to a podiatrist, and they did some x-rays, and they're like, well, here's your problem. And next thing I know, they were talking about scheduling surgery, and I was like, whoa! Little 5th grade Chewie going, whoa, 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 what was that? Schedule what? But
cut your feet up.
they installed a bone on the top and one on the side, and then in the back they clipped and stretched my Achilles tendon.
Are you sure this was a real doctor?
They installed a bone.
2 of them.
That's
Like-
not normally how that works.
Where did they get the bone?
From the
last
bone
guy.
bank. Because I asked. But
Does this mean you have surplus bones?
I don't think it was literally installing a bone. I think
That is less exciting.
they put a piece in there, and then so they would fuse in such a way to reshape my foot. But
I feel like the bone bank is just something they said to 5th grade Chewie because they didn't think 5th grade Chewie could handle sex jokes.
that would not surprise me in the slightest.
Are we doing phrasing? Because bone bank really.
I'm just saying, if you're like,
Seems
yeah, I went by the bone bank for a deposit, everyone's going to stare at you. Like, it's not really a lot of ways to take that.
But I had these hard plastic orthotic inserts that were made of molds of my feet, for
Backup
support.
feet.
Do what?
Backup feet. Got it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Man.
And in order to buy shoes, buying shoes was like a goddamn nightmare because I had to have shoes that were wide. Now this was in the 90s before like everyone stocked extra wide shoes. Like I went to the rec room to buy some shoes today, and like half of the pairs of shoes there were like extra wide, and I'm going, where the hell was this when I was a kid? Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I had to have wide shoes because the inserts were wider than my feet, but I also had to have shoes that were internally tall because the insert raised my foot up enough to where sometimes it just felt like pressing down on my foot, and it was painful because I've got a scar across the top of each foot that like even to this day, I'm 40 now, tapping on it is like, oh, stop it. I don't like it. It's weird. And it just feels bizarre because yeah, that's weird. No, don't do that.
So, like, what size shoes do you wear?
10.5.
Okay, so you're 10.5, but you're looking for wide 10.5, but also internally tall 10.5.
Yeah, which means, and there's no measurement for internally tall, which means what we
Yeah.
would do would be to go to the place, and Mom would be like, all right, pick you out 3 or 4 that you like, and we'll, see if they fit.
Yeah.
And it became just a never ending, nope, I put it on, can't even get the insert in this one. I learned that Nikes run narrow, at least back in the 90s. Nikes ran narrow, so I never owned a pair of Nikes again. And Reeboks seemed to own, or to run wider. So even without getting extra wide ones, Reeboks would work more often than not.
See, I could have told you all that if you knew me back in the 90s, because I used to sell shoes.
I see. That's what I get for not knowing you in the 90s.
Yeah, one of the
Did
many
you ever
things that
tell
you
any
miss
of
out.
your customers about the bone bank?
No, never.
Because then Chewie
never
could have figured out the
once.
bone bank way sooner too.
Way sooner.
Yeah, I have giant feet, so I long ago gave up on buying shoes in stores. I just get them on the internet. It's inconvenient.
I'm just watching Cluze muted talking to Jen. It's really funny. Hi, Jen.
Science. The stack.
Cluze chat has a good point. If you tried to hook me up with shoes, I probably wouldn't wear them for like 672 years.
So you'd be set about now.
Yeah, I was going
That
to
would
say
have been the
right
long
now,
run game. Like you would then
you
be set
would have
right now.
shoes right now.
No, but they would have dry rotted. See,
They totally would have drive, which was a thing I was going to chime in on. That keeping shoes for all that time, glues, adhesives, and the rubbers and foams that they use in soles. Those have a finite life. You can't just you don't
Roughly, what is
age
that
those
on the
like a
shelf?
fine wine. That's not a thing you do, buddy.
Like at room temperature, roughly what is that?
Oh hell, I don't know. I just know that it's shorter than however long Chewie's dad kept those shoes.
Fair.
Experimentally.
Correct.
speaking. So, there we go.
so anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd tell my shoe story because it happened today, and I have cursed feet apparently. Thanks, chat, for letting me know
You
that.
do. Yes. Yes. This is
So to follow up on
first
that, I don't have the
Disney movie
inserts
ever.
anymore. So now I can actually find shoes that I like and try them on, rather than it doesn't matter if I like them or not. This is the only pair in the whole store that fit. Because several years ago now, wow, the last
2020?
one, they broke several times because I was a kid and I would jump off of something high and land and hear a pop and go, oh, I'm in trouble. But we would just get the podiatrist's office to remake them, and then eventually they had to go off site to get them made, so it would take like weeks to get new ones. But it had been years and years and years since I'd broken an insert because I'm not a kid anymore. I don't jump off of high things anymore. So when one broke,
Okay, I was
like,
gonna say I was gonna have to call you out on the beginning of that sentence, but okay.
physically.
Right.
But when that one broke, I was like, uh-oh. And the old man and his glue, we managed to not super glue it together twice, and then epoxy it together once. And that shit lasted for a couple years. But then it broke again, and it didn't have enough grip there to hold on anymore. And so I went to try to track down the podiatrist because I know he had retired, but I went to see if the office was still there, and they weren't. So tried to track it down, and Mom eventually found them, and they didn't do that anymore. And I didn't have health insurance, which means they were going to be expensive. And so I went, I don't even know if I need these anymore. So I just took the other one out of my shoe, expecting to have a few weeks of pain while my feet got used to it, and no. It was weird for a couple weeks, but there's never any pain. And he told me, you'll need to wear these for the rest of your life. That motherfucker was lying?
Well, you're not done with life yet, as far as I know.
It's possible that he was
so-
just threatening you.
I'm just saying the terrible repercussions
soon
may
as
not
he
have
found
kicked in
out
yet.
you took those things out, he's going to kill you. That's all. But now he doesn't do that anymore, so you're fine.
Or you did die, and this is hell.
Oh, that would explain
wait a
lot.
minute.
When did
this go down? When did you take them out of your shoes?
Oh, God, was this during the dark times when I was working at the shit job?
I don't know.
Was it 2016?
That was a bad year.
I'm just
No,
asking.
No, it was before that.
Okay.
Did you taking the shoes off kill that monkey that people blame everything on?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway. So, yeah. Long story, extremely long. I got new shoes today.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 pair, and I put one in the closet.
Because they were hereditary trait.
What? No, because I didn't put the 2 pair in the closet and then get a 3rd pair that was already in the closet.
There's still
Yet.
time.
It's only
not midnight
today.
yet.
What?
Yeah.
No, I've been wearing them all day ever since I got home from that. So, hey, Jay
I
Spencer,
don't
thank you
see
for
your
that.
feed. I don't believe you.
That 10-month Prime sub.
I'm going to send you a code for shoes from an indie developer.
Okay, I'm done now. Someone else talk. Squee, what you up to?